Hi, my name is Dr. Valerie Wilder, and I'm a school psychologist in Anne Arundel County. I'm here to talk about suicide and what you should do if you suspect that your child is suicidal. The first thing you need to do is get help now. If it is coming to your attention that your child may be in a crisis, you need to do something about it right this minute. Call your pediatrician, call the hospital, take your child to the hospital, call the school, call any of these phone numbers. You can call your child's school and speak to the guidance counselor or the school psychologist for resources. Do something right now. And if you are really worried about your child, leave this presentation, get some help, and then come back and look at this later. These are resources on this slide that are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They are free and confidential, and they can connect you with resources that you need. It is critically important that you don't waste any time and that you get help for your family right now. When you talk to your child, listen, listen, listen. As parents, a lot of times we want to solve our children's problems. We want to try to make things better. In this scenario, if we could have made things better already, we would have. Ask how you can help your child. What kind of things what's going on? What do they need help with? And stay connected, stay plugged in, listen, put your phone down, cancel your appointments. Do whatever you need to do so they know they have your undivided attention. Remind them about the people that are in their life that they care about and care about them. While a breakup with a boyfriend seems like it's the end of the world and it's critically important, there are other people in the world who care about them. They just can't see it because it seems like such a big deal. Immediately connect them with support personnel, whether that's the guidance counselor or the school psychologist at their school, a private therapist, somebody else. Just even for a short period of time to talk to a therapist, even if they don't think they need it, can save you a lot of heartache in the end. If you have concerns for your child, let the school know, because there might be some protocols that we would put in place, like a safety plan or other things to keep your child safe. Do not leave your child alone. Don't go pick up another child from a sporting event or take them somewhere. If you have to leave, take them with you. And just because things seem to be better doesn't mean that they are. Pay attention and stay connected. In addition to those phone numbers I listed previously, this is a national hotline. This phone number is available, again, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There are lots of resources in Anne Arundel County. We have a helpline from the Division of Student Services. This card has a lot of resources and different things. This is available at your child's school if they have some concerns or if you have some concerns. Remember, it is important to seek help immediately because there may not be time later to do something. Here are the resources that I was talking about on the slide prior that are available in Anne Arundel County. Don't be afraid to ask your child about suicide. Questioning them about suicide does not increase the likelihood. It just gets everybody on the same page so that you know what you need to do to keep them safe. As we all know, suicide is death caused by injuring oneself with the intent to die. An attempt is when you intended to kill yourself, but it did not work. The person did not die. Both of these things, from the eyes of a parent, are significant. And so you need to pay attention if you start seeing some self-injury, some changes in behavior, other things that make you think that there could be something going on. In that vein, you need to take precautions and get prepared. If you have guns in your house, lock them up, move them. Sometimes older children are aware of keys or other places where those things are kept. Move those so that your child doesn't have access to those keys anymore. If there's prescription medications, alcohol, or other weapons in the house, lock them up or take them to a friend's house or somewhere else for safety for the time being. It's better to get yourself prepared for no reason than to miss a reason to be prepared and then something bad happen. The warning signs that your child may be significantly depressed to the point of killing themselves are some of these things: dropping grades. Another thing that happens this time of the year, as seniors and students are hearing back from colleges or not getting scholarships that they thought were critically important, other things that families and they have been working for a long time, it seems like the end of the world if those things don't come together. Reinforce that there are lots of different ways to get to the end line. Just because this one school isn't, let's look together and find some other places for them to go. Let's just seek some other opportunities. Teenagers are tired all the time, so it may be difficult for you to tell if there's more fatigue than normal, but just pay attention. Have them come to family dinner. Spend time with them, connect with them every day, just to get a feel for how they are doing. And another big thing to pay attention to is if they start giving away their favorite things. Even if it seems logical, like they're going to give a younger cousin some things that they don't use anymore or whatever. Just pay attention to all of the things that are happening are different. Changes in mood that are significant, different peer groups. If something is different, just pay attention. Unfortunately, suicide is a rising problem with adolescents. It affects everybody in all ages. It's the second leading cause of death for people ages 10 to 34. And really, it is a significant impact in lives all the way up into older adulthood. Some of the reason behind this is social media and societal pressures contribute to the feeling of inadequacy and just that they just don't have what other people have. They might feel like they don't have that network, they don't have that support, they don't have a boyfriend, or they don't have a good group of friends, or whatever the situation is. When social media first came about, the incidences of mental health supports rose 300%. Don't discount the impact of social media on your child's life. So you might wonder, if my child is this much in pain, why they don't do anything. There are a lot of reasons for this. One, they don't want to hurt your feelings. They worry about what your reaction is going to be. They don't want to make you more mad than you already are. They don't realize how bad they are feeling. They feel like they have already disappointed you. And a lot of times they think that they think that they have told you and you just haven't done anything. I worked in a high school for 10 years, and when I made this phone call because the child was suicidal, almost every time the parents had no idea. Because parents don't want to believe that this could be true. We never want to think our child could be this sad. We miss signs of depression, or we attribute them to something that's less significant or short term, or they seem resilient, they've gotten over things in the past, so they'll get over this. Another thing is that sometimes teens are just naturally dramatic, and sometimes it's hard to tell, is this a real problem or just another thing that doesn't matter? But the numbers speak for themselves. Suicide is significant, it's frequent, it happens. One death every 11 minutes in 2019. And I'm sure with COVID and the pandemic, those numbers have just increased. Pay attention to your children. Here's some strategies that you can use to prevent suicide with your children. Strengthen economic supports. Maybe not share all of the details about your finances with your children. Kids that are going to college, help them look for scholarships and other opportunities to help defray some of those costs. Again, like I said before, get them access to supports, create protective environments. If your schedule doesn't lend itself to being around, then maybe you need to modify your schedule. Take some things out of your life so that you can check in with your kids. Sometimes these things seem like very big deals right now, but what would be a bigger deal later? Dealing with these kind of things or dealing with the loss of a child? again, make sure that there's connections, that they have connections in the community, connections with their peers, connections in their schools. If they don't have some of those, then you may need to look outside of those typical environments to find some supports. With a psychiatrist, therapist, guidance counselor, school psychologist, they can learn problem solving and coping strategies, and you can help them just get in touch with somebody that they can talk to. With those same people can let you know if there are different things that might be needed for crisis intervention, and plus help you become better informed about how to support your child and recognize problems. All of this information helps reduce the risk of a suicide right now and in the future. Finally, if you suspect something, do something. Many times you do not get a second chance to get this right. Some parents do not do anything because they think that there's an associated stigma with mental health or some other thing that the child's going to deal with as a result. I can assure you that whatever things you're worried about associated with a potential suicide are magnified and become way more significant if your child actually commits suicide. So do something. Put those supports in place. Make the calls. Get a psychologist. Adjust your schedule. Do what you need to do right now to protect your child. And then you, your child, and your family can move on from this crisis. When the necessary supports are put in place, everybody receives the help that they need. Thank you.